And share screen, share. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Okay, can you all see my screen okay? All right, let's see, let's do like that. So the goal on this one is to do this. We're going to be giving the client a study. It's called an elevation study. The client's usually builders, by the way. It's not usually Fred who wants a new house. It's, Taylor Woodrow, Shea Holmes, those kind of people. And they have people who know what they're doing, and they know the architectural style, and they're the clients demand authenticity. So they're gonna, make sure that everything is right. Now, does it look pretty good? Would you agree that this looks pretty good? Does it look pretty neat? Pretty nice sketch, right? But if you zoom in on it, scribble. The guy used to joke that he would get paid really, really well to scribble. Do those lines look straight? Yeah, they look straight. Now, those of you who don't have a very good hand, like, you've been criticized your whole life because you couldn't draw crap, you know those people? Any of you in here? Yeah, I got a few in here. So I was that way too, to be honest. And so this is your dream, because I'm going to tell you to be you. All right. Now, you people who are perfect handwriting and all that stuff, you're going to have problems with this. You're going to have issues. And I've had people who are really, really, really good, like valedictorian people who, never missed a problem. They didn't like this so much, and they actually had trouble with it because they didn't like to draw crookedy. The idea, this way he explained it to me, is that we want the client to know that this thing is studied, that we know what we're doing and we know where we're going, but it's not done. We can change it. It's just scribble. We just sketched it. I could sketch one of these things in a half an hour, and you're gonna as well. A half an hour, so it doesn't take very long. And if we have to change out one little detail, we'll do a little sketch over the top. And I think we talked about that before. We'll do a little sketch over the top. Hey, I really don't like that shuttered window. So maybe we'll go to the client and we'll say, hey, how about something like this? And we'll do a quickie little sketch, and then we'll send it back to them, via PDF or whatever. And they can take a look and say, oh, yeah, that's what I want. So what we want to do is not spend too much time on this level, but we want to give them what they want. So the clients like the sketches because, again, they think that you as the architect didn't take so long to make it. And you guys aren't cheap. Architects are not cheap. So if they're spending a lot of time at this level, the client's just watching their money go out the window. So they don't want this to, again, be a long process. And that was the way he explained it to me. It's a study. It's a sketch. So this dude could make he could make a straighter line than you guys can with the tools. Yet he didn't. He purposely made him crooked in certain spots. Yeah. I'm sorry, we're gonna what? No, not yet. When we get to the coloring part, we'll talk about that. So right now, no. But you guys see the shadows on there? So that's going to be, making it more realistic, so you can tell that, one part is closer to you than the other part. All right. So let's get this party started. You are going to, and you can go ahead and do this with me here. You're going to tape down your drawing. Let me get this all up here, ready to go. I like taping it down a little bit away from me, so I can tape something on top. All you need to do on this one is tape it, maybe watch my hand. I'm going to go to the top corner and just tape it. And you don't really have to tape it crazy. It could even be crooked. It really doesn't matter. We're not going to use the tools on this part. And then, I just did it on the other side down here, just keeping the paper from moving around. So I just taped it on, I know you can't see the top there, on the kind of top right and bottom left, just so it doesn't move around. And then watch me take the flimsy. Now, the way he did it is he would just take the roll. And this way the architects do it. They just roll it out and then they sketch. They don't even like tear it off. and then they, do it again, and they roll it off, and they do another one. The joke, some of them have like a really long roll of all the iterations of it, and then they scan where they need it. For us, because I don't have 30 some rolls of this stuff, we're just going to go ahead and take a generous, watch me, just a generous, crack at this thing. Feel free to go longer than you need, doesn't matter. And then slap that guy on there and, tape it down. I think I would tape it down. You don't have to, but I would, because it moves around. It's kind of a pain when it moves around, because then you have to move it back. You don't really need to tape it a lot, just so it doesn't move around. Okay. So there are going to be some tools that we're going to be using on this. One of them, and you've already seen this one, is that fine liner pen, y'all, with the white tip. Now, the one you've been using, that fine liner you guys have been using for your sketches, we're not going to use that one, because they're kind of old and they're kind of worn out and stuff like that. I have brand new ones for you. They're going to be in the boxes over there on top of the computers. And when I'm done with my demo and you guys are off and running, you're going to grab them from those boxes. They're brand new. Okay. And I please put them back when you're done, because I need them for period 4 and period 5. But you don't have to buy them, because I've got money this year, so I didn't have to charge you. And then we also have the skinny pen. Remember the skinny pen? The skinny pen is going to be skinny. And I have some of those in the boxes as well. Same deal. They're brand new. They're really, really nice. These are the tools you want to do it as well as possible. It's one of those, if you have the right tool, things are easier. This is the right tool. And then at the end, we're going to have a couple of other pens. One is going to be an M, which is also in the boxes over there. And I've got a couple of B's. This is going to be just used once. I only have about 6 of them, so you guys will have to share. So once you use them, put them back. All right. So let's get this thing going. I think the best way, again, to do it is to just explain as I go. And I'm going to give you a strategy on how to do it. The first thing, when you use these, I'm going to start with the fine liner, the one with the white tip. The fine liners, they have this kind of flame tip to them, if you ever notice the way they go, and they work really, really well for what we want. You can make a skinny line by holding it pretty straight, or if you lean it, it's going to give you a thicker line. We don't want that lean. We don't want to use the edge of the fine liner to draw our lines. We want that skinny line, which means you have to use the tip. This is the part that's going to suck, okay? Because this is the part that even to today, I have trouble with. Watch me. When you guys normally write, you write like this, right? You just write. And I'm going to ask you not to do that. I'm going to ask you to take that pen. You don't have to be vertical, okay? But you need to be kind of vertical, and it's going to be uncomfortable, okay? And I also am going to ask you not push down very hard, because they're a very soft tip. We want to use mostly the tip of it, but ever so lightly. Almost just like buzzing the top of the paper, and the ink just will fall off. It'll give you a beautiful line. If you push down hard, what happens is this. It mashes the tip, and it's kind of a problem. So, and then it ruins the pen. Does that make sense? Make sense? So, and that's smart. Now we're going to start this. I do the walls first, and this is the part that got me from the very beginning. Do you see that beautiful straight line you did with your block out, whatever it looks like? When you do that, I'm going to ask that you had 44 cups of Starbucks this morning, right? A grande double hot, and you're going to make that line look absolutely imperfect, okay? On purpose. I'm telling you to make it sloppy, just like he does on his lines. Purposeful. Now, still straight, but wiggly. If you make it straight, I'm going to mark you down. All right? What teacher ever told you that, right? If you stay between the lines, I'm going to give you a C. All right. And I'm going to continue. On the walls, you can really get loosey-goosey on these. But again, I'm creating that nice, sorry, zoom out. Try to get that all in there as much as possible there. Nice wiggly lines. I like, again, starting with the walls. It's still up against the wall. Now you hold that pen however you need to use the tip and not the side of it. Because if you use the side, let me do this over here. Again, you're going to get that fat line, and I'm not going to like that fat line. Once you get the walls, I like doing the roof. So, same thing. Keep it reasonably straight at the roof because we want to see that fascia board. So this is where I tighten it up a little bit, but still wiggly. And frankly, it's going to be wiggly anyway because you're sketching, right? You're not even going to do this by tools. So if you can make that perfectly straight, great for you, but we don't want it that way. All right. I'm going to do the same thing with the roof, just kind of there. Now, this is pen. So if you make a mistake, oops, just keep moving. Oops. I'll show you how to fix that later. Oops. Okay, whatever. All right. I'll show you how to fix that later. All right. Don't worry about it. Even if you go like that, you kind of, oh man, I blew it. Just shut up and move on. Okay. Don't want to hear it. Nobody cares. It's a sketch. We're just showing the client how it looks, how it's studied. Don't go back over your lines. These pens are very good. Once you put the line there, it'll be there. If there's a gap in the line, there's a gap in the line. So like here, let's say that I missed a gap, just keep going. Don't go back over it. Just let it go. It's fine. You do want to try to keep the lines parallel if they should be. Let's see. Let's keep going with the roofs here. Now I'm going to start moving a little faster because I want you to as well. I'd like you to try to get a pattern going, keeping it loose, keeping it loose. Try to keep those lines parallel so the fascia boards look the same. I'm going to do a ground line. On the ground line, let's whiten this just a little bit. On the ground line, I'd like you to start maybe an inch or two out and then just kind of run it across. This little wobble. Straight across, wobble, and go about an inch or two past. Just like that. So we just went a little bit past. I want that line there. Okay, do we have our roofs in? Looks like we do. Let's go ahead and do the doors now. Actually, let's do the tiles first. So now I'm going to do the roof tiles. Now with the roof tiles, I'd like to do them a little different. I like to use the skinny pen with those. The skinny pen is going to have thinner lines, and there's a contrast between the outside of the outside border of the roof and the skinny pen. Once again, don't press down hard. Now, do you see the lines? I'm just going to pop those in. Now, what he told me when I was doing this, watch this. I'm going like this. I'm going like this, and he's yelling at me. You're going too fast. You're going too slow. Do it like this. Go this and this. Save your stroke. You're trying to get these things done fast. Try this process of going up and down. Don't worry if you make a mistake. It's just roof tiles. And we're going to go back and do that. And again, put them in and put them in. If you miss a little bit, just move on. It's just a roof tile. And you will. You're going to make a mistake there. You're going to go too fast, whatever. You're going to make a bad line. Doesn't matter. Just keep moving. It's just a roof tile. You're going to miss a line. Again, doesn't matter that much. Roof tiles. Now, on the tops of the roof tiles, you can see if you look at his picture on the left, the shed roof, what's going to happen is you're going to get these tiles that kind of go like this on your shed roofs and on your gable roofs and on your hip roofs. And you're just going to get this pattern going. And you can see his, I'm just replicating his, and then there's a little cap on the top like that. And then the same thing would be here. There's what he does here is just kind of pretty straight for the caps. I'd use the skinny pen on that. Same thing here. Oops, I missed the roof tiles on my tower. Again, kind of sort of sloppy, not really completely neat, you know? And then the tiles on the top of that really skinny up here because they're there. And you start seeing that starts to look kind of more roofy. Try to get that pattern going. Even if you're messing it up a little bit, I want you to just practice a little bit. This one's going to give you an opportunity to practice. Not trying to be all pretty and stuff like that, but you get the basic idea, right? And you can you can open this thing up and you can look at what he did and look what I did. Mine's a little different than his. All good. Okay. Would you agree that the shell of the building is kind of there, right? The outside basic part. Am I missing any of the outside besides the windows and doors and stuff like that? Is there anything else I'm missing there? Maybe the chimney, huh? I don't have the cap on it yet, but that's kind of where my chimney is going to be. Am I missing anything else? Just kind of looking it over. Roof there, walls. I think that looks okay. All right. Then this is where that work you guys have been doing on these guys come into play. So this is in ink. So I would highly suggest you have your ducks in a row, what you're going to do on this before you do it. And then you're just going to go. Okay. You're just going to go for it. I really want you to stay within the lines that you have on your block out because we did those purposefully. And I've given you comments on how to keep things skinnier and the right heights and stuff like that. So let's do this. So I've got this idea for a door. And it kind of went like this. I think I demoed this a little while ago when we did this together. There's my door. I'm trying to be purposeful there, really kind of keeping it tight. I got a little extra here. I'm not even caring about that. This curves in a little bit. There's no erasing, okay? It's in pen. You know, you just kind of, okay, there's the outside of the door. I'm going to use the skinny pen for the little vertical like planks that go on mine because I want to, because it's not quite as dark, kind of like those roof tiles. And so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go in and just kind of with the skinny pins a little skinnier. And I think it looks better that way to do it that way. I'm just going to go and put those in. Don't be chicken to try new processes like that and just want those things in. You need to be able to sketch these pretty fast. Try to keep those things parallel. I know that you won't be able to, but I want you to practice it and see if you can't get that spacing going to the best of your ability. Now I'm the teacher, I do them pretty straight. So, you know, I'm not expecting you to be perfect, but I want you to give it a shot. And then on mine, I've got these little cross pieces. Now that cross piece, I'd actually like to be a little thicker because it's wrought iron. So I'm going to plop the fine liner back in and keep that kind of heavy. This is just my detail. My detail has a piece of wrought iron coming across here, like a big old hunk of metal. And what they do is they rivet it so basically this thing here holds the planks together. It's kind of rustic. And that's what they used to do. And I'll do the same thing. Yeah, you guys have a different detail, I'm hoping. And so you do your detail. This is where you want to, you know, I'm not going to say keep it tight, but keep it, you know, a little tight so I can see what you're doing. You're not being all sloppy there. So the client knows, you know, kind of where you're going. And so that's my idea and it's implemented. And so it goes. I'm just going to go ahead and go real quick here. So on, you know, I might have a window like this. You could even take this, and if you have it, you really like it, you could slide this if you wanted to. Y'all see where I'm going with this? You could slide that right underneath there and bam, because it's tracing paper. You can see it, no problem at all. And just trace that sucker. See how it's right on my block out? Or I could say, oh, you know, that's not the right one. Maybe I want to do this one right here. You know, boom. Especially if you have one that looks really good, it's all laid out perfectly, and you're afraid to, you know, mess it up, you know, like I can't replicate it. Just slide it underneath. The guy that trained me did it because he had a perfect detail and he wanted to do it, you know, several times. He wanted them all to look the same. So the best way to do it is to do one on tracing paper and slide it underneath and trace it. Got it? So for mine, I'm just going to go really quick here. I've got a window. I'm going to keep that a little bit more tight, but still with wiggly lines. There's going to be a divider, and then there's going to be a panel. And I've got little in between spots. So this is just my design, right? So plop it in. I'm going to do a different one over here just for fun. But you're not going to do that. When you do these, you want to try to keep them repetitive. So let's just say this one over here looks like this. I don't know, something like that, whatever. Maybe this one over here has a top or whatever. You do your detail, whatever it looks like. Maybe it goes like this, whatever yours does. I have this little pocket window. A lot of you have these pocket windows up here, and some of them have these really cool details. Like you might see brick on the outside. There'll be some embellishments. If you made this small, like I suggested on them, there's some really neat details you can do with these. Sometimes they'll actually do something like this. They'll have a window up here, and then they'll have a wrought iron detail. I suck at wrought iron. It'll be like this. It's kind of mirroring, you'll have a wrought iron detail. There's all kinds of neat things you can do with those little pop out windows. The idea is that light comes in, but you also want to make the facade of the building look kind of cool. And, maybe something like that or something like that would be an idea that you guys have all discussed or thought out. Okay, let me get my door. And I got my opening here in my tower. This would be the entry tower. That may or may not be there. It's up to you on yours, A lot of the little windows up here just allow light to come in. Those can be either vents or windows. That's going to be up to you. Probably somewhere in the ballpark right there. Shouldn't be very big. Just allow a little light to come in. I'm just going to leave that exactly the way it is, just a rectangle. That's probably all it is. And I got a window over here. I got some arches over here. Some of you have like a loggia or a breezeway. And so I need to see columns there. And it might look something like this. I did this pretty loose, but there might be a little column down here. You guys will see those later on, but just try to scribble those in. I'm not looking for anything fancy, just knowing that there's a base of the column there. It might look something like that. Some of yours are going up and there's a piece of wood attaching and there's nothing here. So it depends on what you have. I've got a window over here. This is actually a little on the busy side here. I don't really like mine right here. I probably shouldn't have done this, but I did. And then maybe a planter in the front or something like that. You can kind of organize that. All right. So, you got your thing going. Your Gothic lettering using the guidelines. Tuscan, what would this be? Tuscan what? No, the blockout's underneath. And the answer is makes sense because that's what this is. Okay, I'm not going to do the details over here. Get the idea of where I'm going. Okay, next, materials. Oh, I should have the material up. Crap. Let's see. Sorry, I got to go in and open up a. Oh, sorry, I should have this picture ready and I didn't. Well, that's going to be that way, I guess. Let's see. Oh, cool. That's not bad. Okay. So what I'm looking to do is I want to show you how to model the 3 materials that might be on your plan. Let me drag this over here. And that's actually a pretty good picture right there. That's almost what I want better. Get rid of that. Okay, so I want to show you how to model the 3 materials that will be on your model. One of them is stone. So the stone, as you can see kind of out here, most of you have a lot of stone. Usually with Tuscan, it's predominantly stone. And then there are other materials mixed in. Again, the guy that trained me and the places I've seen, it's usually stone on the main part. So here's what I think I would do if I were you. Using the skinny pen, we're going to replicate stone. Do you see his stone over here and what it's looking like? It's sort of just a bunch of different shapes kind of meandering all over the place there. So I'm going to create, watch this, the stone. Now, am I going to fill it all in? Look at his. Do I fill it all in? Nope, just different shapes. Don't give me like this. Don't go same size circle, same size circle, same size circle. Don't do that. They meander, they're little different shapes and just kind of like that, wherever they're going to go, this way and that way, different shapes, different sizes. It's basically paid to scribble. All right, and get them down there, different sizes, all over the place, not filling it in. How long is this taking? How long is my demo going, by the way? How far in am I? Maybe a half an hour? No, not even that, huh? Yeah, 20 minutes maybe. Okay, so I'm not quite done yet, but I'm getting there. All right, and we're making those circles. You want to get it pretty filled in, go up next to the window there. Maybe something like that. We know that that's stone. Let's say for giggles that this is brick. So here's the way I want you to do brick. I want to put away the phone, please. Thank you. With brick, I'd like you to create straight lines pretty close together. Like this. Now, they're not going to be perfect, but they're going to be reasonably straight. So I want them to contrast those wiggly lines on the outside, that are the walls. Does that make sense? So that you can tell where it stops and just kind of work your way, just kind of fast. If you want to really be hot stuff, try doing it like that. And I have trouble. Yeah, I even have trouble with that. And if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's just a sketch. If you want to go like that, whatever works for you. That one may be faster going that way. So I have brick on the outside. Make sense? I forgot to do my door. So I'm going to go on my door. I'm doing something like this. I've got these planks. I had an idea. And then I had a little peekaboo window. You all have your own design for your door. Maybe a little wrought iron detail down here, a little. So, get your design going, make sure everything's the right height. Now, here comes the hard part, the stucco. Very few of you can do this because it's very, very difficult. So I'm just going to let you try your best. All right. You ready? I'm going to make this stucco and my garage stucco. Damn. Now, if you want, you can even do a little of that because you have stucco inside, if it makes sense, plaster inside of these things. And, you could even do something like that if you want to make it more realistic. Bam. Don't make it rocket science. Okay. I'm using my fine liner. Don't press down hard. Just kind of tap, 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 boom. So we've got a material. Let's see. I haven't done anything with this yet. Okay. Next. Okay. So it's looking pretty good. So this doesn't show on the one I'm looking at right now, but one of the processes he showed me was to do the windows. And you're going to use this pen, whoops, wrong one, called an M. The M is thicker than the fine liner and ridiculously thicker than the skinny pen. What we're going to do is we're going to take this M and we're going to shade in the glass. Now, when you do this, I like you to almost tap it so it doesn't completely fill in. Do you see how there's a little white in there? And just kind of just tap it around a little bit. And what we're doing is we're just kind of shading in the windows. Make it take on the form of the window. But you're not completely filling it in. Just a little like that. If you have wrought iron, you might decide not to. Little punch out window. Same thing here. Notice I'm going to try to keep this not completely filling it in. Zoom out a little bit. Now, these windows aren't done yet, but you get the basic idea. You're going to come in here and you're going to fill in the windows. This is totally wrong because it's never be a big plate glass window like this. So please don't do one of these. And then like that. They're all going to be split up. They're all going to be something like that or like that, the bigger windows. So the idea, if I zoom out, is that it kind of has this, you sort of see the glass kind of pop. It looks crappy from really close. But as you zoom out, that gives that window image. Last step, you're going to do a ground line. You're going to use the B on this one. If you look at his, do you see this kind of fat line right about there, right below the fine liner line, right there? That's the one I'm using. Now, the way that the B works, the pen, it kind of goes like this. Got a chisel tip. And what we want to use is that part. So you have to kind of rotate it around. So you're going to hit the fat part, B, and you're just going to go just underneath the line, not touching it, but just underneath it. This represents the ground. And remember, the line that we did with the fine liner is the floor. And so there's going to be a ground underneath. And just kind of bases, gives a base to the thing and just kind of try to keep it pretty close, not too far away. Like that. So that's just a little bit of gap there. If I zoom in, not quite touching, but really just pretty close down below. We will later on be putting foliage in here. I'm going to do that as a separate demo because I want to give you enough time to do this today. Take a look. Again, I'm not done here. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. It would be all your details and all that. That's what I want to see. If you make mistakes like this, I'm going to show you later on how to cover it up. We got tricks. Even if you do something really disastrous, we have tricks. Disaster. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Don't worry about it. All right. Name, make sure you have enough room for your name underneath. Make sure you use the lettering. You have the guide there, so in theory it should be there, but if you didn't use a guide, you might want to go in and lay that in. Questions? Like I said, the fine liners are one of the boxes. I don't know which one it is. I think it's the wood box there on top of the computers. The skinny pens, I think they're in the basket. You'll need those, and there's enough for everybody. Okay. But again, you use them, and at the end of the period, put them back in the same place you got them from. But with the M's and the B's, I think we have a pretty good amount of M's, maybe enough for everybody. But the B's, I absolutely only have like 6. So please don't put them in your drawer or anything like that, because then I run out and then we can't draw our ground line. Once you make your ground line, just put it back. That's all you need it for. Everything else is good to go. Got it? All right. Let's get this party started. All right, let me stop and